Welcome families to Back to School Night. My name is Mrs. Solares and I'm your child's 8th grade Spanish teacher. I have been a teacher in Edison for the last 20 years, 10 years at Martin Luther King Elementary School, and now at John Adams. I am very excited for a wonderful new year, and I cannot wait to see what all the excitement that will bring. I can be reached by email at lidice.solares@edison.k12.nj.us, or once we return back to the building, 732-452-2920. Let me tell you a little bit about Spanish in 8th grade this year. Your child was placed in this class based on their English placement, which means they are in accelerated English, which means they take one period a day, so the other period is taken up by their language class every day. So what we do is we split up the year into the 4 marking periods and study a thematic unit. Marking period 1, it's about traveling. So students will learn about the other Spanish-speaking countries in the world, the weather in the various countries, as well as vacationing and the need for clothing that they would have to pack if they were to travel to this particular country, and according to their weather. For marking period 2, it's about entertainment. Students will learn about famous artists, musicians, and athletes. They will describe art, music, sports as it relates to the Spanish-speaking countries, make comparisons, express preferences, and personal opinions. At this time, they have all been working with the present tense form of verbs, and during this marking period, we'll introduce them to the past tense. For marking period 3, it's all about food. Who doesn't love food? Who doesn't love to eat? So for this marking period, we will identify foods and typical dishes in the variety of countries. We will describe meals like breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Holidays to include the different festivities in the variety of countries. And they will also be describing what the food would taste like. Again, expressing comparisons, their own personal preferences, likes and dislikes on foods, ordering food in a restaurant, which is very important, and ordering for the meal. Paying for the meal. Marking period 4 will be about our planet. So we will explore different ecotourism identified in the different parts of the world, whatever they have to offer, whether it's a rainforest or sea life, but we will be looking at some worlds of animals. We will give advice about traveling throughout the different parts of the world and what ecotourism can offer, as well as describing gear and equipment needed for these activities. Again, reinforcing comparisons, contrasting the use of the past tense, and that would be the 4 units for the marking period. Always our objective is for the students to be able to understand, communicate, and present in the target language. We do not offer an official textbook. All of our units are thematic, and it's all been a collaboration of the teachers in the department from elementary all the way up to high school. The schedule, I've attached it into my presentations, but very briefly, period 1 is at 8:30, period 2 at 9:09, period 3, 10:01, period 4, 10:40, period 5, 11:32. Lunch comes in at 12:11 to 12:50, period 6 at 12:50, and then period 7 at 1:29. For the online etiquette, what do we expect from our kids to be successful while being online? We want them to be obviously on time. We want them to be ready. That means that they're groomed and that they've dressed appropriately for class, even though we're not in a classroom. Their cameras, we highly encourage them to keep them on. However, we ask them to mute the microphone so that we could hear one another better. We ask them to be responsible and engaged and an active participant in class. Always, if they have questions, they're encouraged to do so, especially if it's going to contribute in a positive way for everyone in the class. For the grading policy, We assess them in the three modes of communication, whether it's interpretive, which means how much they can understand. The other skill is interpersonal, so that's conversation with one person or another person or in a group. And then the last one is presentation. So those assessments are worth 60% of their grade. We do a minimum of 4, and we try to at least have 1 in each mode. Quizzes take 20% of the grade, and then class participation and homework are 10% of the grades. We always ask our students that in order to be successful in the class, especially now through the virtual learning, it is very important that they keep track of Google Classroom updates. I encourage them to use the parent portal. And if there's anything that I can help personally, they can always reach me on my email. But if also there's the counseling office that's available to help, and the main office if you need it. Again, those numbers are 732-452-2920, and my email is lidice.solaris@edison.k12.nj.us. Thank you, and let's hope for a wonderful year.